Rich, thank you. In several of the mass shootings this year, reports show the shooter took to social media before firing the gun. Can we prevent these violent acts by monitoring the hands behind social media? Is that the solution? Tonight, we're asking those questions in part 2 of our series, When Innocent Apps Turn Deadly.
Gun violence is a uniquely American epidemic. It's just that simple. The rest of the world has children and young people with mental illness. The rest of the world has violent video games. The rest of the world has social media. But we have shooters.
An innocent app can turn deadly in the wrong hands. In the Parkland massacre, the 19-year-old posting to his Instagram graphic photos days before pulling the trigger on 17 people. Wicomico County Sheriff Mike Lewis blaming that online behavior on parents and lack of accountability.
These kids aren't taught anything at home other than to steal, to rob, and to threaten, and to be a nuisance when they're in schools. And unfortunately, they end up on our doorstep.
But child psychologist Dr. Kathy Seifert explains the bad behavior is a call for help, and the social media posts reveal signs of trauma.
There are over 4,000 children in this country maltreated every year, and the number is rising. As long as we see children being mistreated, you are going to have them reacting out in what we want to call bad behavior, but it's really an emotional distress.
Dr. Seifert says social media is the next step before going for the gun. It's foreshadowing violent actions that can be redirected.
These children who are using aggression to get their needs met can be changed. Their behavior can be changed if someone takes the time to teach them how to use their words.
But are words enough? Sheriff Lewis argues action is the answer.
We hate to think we have rifles in our schools. I don't want our children, our students, to see deputies armed with rifles. But that's what we're thinking about today.
This upcoming school year, the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office will place 600 emergency response shields in hallways, a tool used to stop a shooter in the moment. But what about in the long run?
Listen, I recognize that these shields are not the answer, but they will certainly save lives in the event of an active shooter.
Salisbury Mayor Jake Day tells us it's a shocking yet seemingly necessary step for prevention. Speaking as a soldier, a city leader, and father.
Holding a physical shield to protect against rifle rounds, it's just, it turns my stomach. It makes me sick. And I'm not sure how to, and I'm not sure our minds are designed to even let ourselves fathom the reality of that.
But Dr. Seifert says it is a reality, and those shields are only a temporary solution.
You can have a policeman go out and take charge of a kid who's made a threat, but that's not looking underneath at what made him make that threat.
Social media posts may help you get a better understanding of the shooter's pain, but unless there's intervention, it won't prevent the gun from firing. So how do we stop point A from getting to point B?
We're talking about, do you make certain types of weapons unavailable? Do you provide children with armor? At the end of the day, if you're not protecting your babies, if you're not protecting defenseless children, what are you doing?
Maybe there is no one solution, but by monitoring social media, support at home, and having a conversation, it could stop the next shooter. Because according to Dr. Seifert, it's not a matter of if there will be another, it's a matter of when.
Sooner or later, there will be a negative event that we will have to react to. Why don't we try to prevent it before it happens? Because if it does, we're all going to say, boy, I wish I had done something to help that little kid.
And it is incredibly important that if you see something, you say something. Call the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office at 410-548-4891 or call Crime Stoppers. And if you're in need of mental health services and you want that help, you can call the Maryland Crisis Hotline at 1-800-422-0009 or text 988.